Okie dokie, playing with the new camera here, so you get to see my new kettle corn mini sifting table. This is Mitch, Kettle Corn Supplies. If you didn't already know that, now you do. I have had over the years a lot of requests. People just barely getting into the business. They know it's going to be a good money maker for them. So what they've wanted is a mini sifting table. They usually end up getting the 80-quart original, which is my least expensive popper, but they can't quite afford the table, and they know they need to. So I get a lot of requests from people to put together a mini sifting table. And so what this is I've taken some screen here. This is 1/2-inch holes. I basically use what material, I don't want to use the word scrap, but basically pieces that are just a little too small to be using for the tables, and I make the table sifter with it. I use 1/2-inch on this one. The next one might be 3/8. It's whatever I have left. And so what I do is I basically build in a kind of a trimmed edge and then weld that to the screen. And then you slide the screen into the table, into the box itself. And you push it in and you zip tie it here. Now I'm going to give you a little bit better look at this in a minute. I'm going to cut these zip ties because I got to send this anyway. But I want to kind of show you how I go through the process. This table here, where's my tape? Let me grab my tape here. Okay, this gives you about 9 inches of room in here to put popcorn. If that's not enough, you buy 2 of these boxes, and the boxes I cut off the bottom here. Now you can't really see it in this video, but there is a really straight parting line that goes along here that you can see when you get to it. And what I generally do here is I'll take my square. I had a pencil here. Oh, I know where I put it. Here it is. Or I thought it was. What did I do with my pencil? Or my I'll just grab this one. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll grab this and I make a little mark, and I'm just going to drag it along the edge just like this, okay? And I drag it right along that line. And you'll see that I have a nice clean line that I can use to cut it with. I'm just holding it there and I'm just dragging it down there, making sure the tip touches. And so I'll make a line here, and that's how I cut that line. Now do not use a sharp knife, no matter how sharp it is, to cut it. A little razor, utility knife, don't do it, because a knife will slip, I guarantee it. I've got scars to show it, to prove it, and you will cut yourself. So use some kind of a serrated blade. Even a steak knife would probably work, but you're going to saw it, okay? Do not cut. Now I have a fancy cutting tool I can use, but most of you aren't going to have that. So use some kind of a saw, a jigsaw, some type of serrated blade that you can cut with. Do not use a straight, flat, sharp knife to cut around it. You're going to find that it will slip on you. Okay? Anyway, so when you get done cutting the bottom off, like this, of course you have another little bend to use. What this does, having the second one, is it allows you to give yourself an extra 5 or 6 inches of room here. Let me see what this measures out. I think it's 14 inches. So I'm putting a straight edge there, and I'm going to go down to the table, and I got 17 inches. No, 14 inches. I was right. My tape's getting old. So 14 inches. Now, if you want more than that, you would, of course, cut less of this edge off. There's another parting line here, right along this edge, that's only about, an inch in. So you could get an extra 2.5 inches of room. So if you're doing larger batches, just cut the box so that it will fit in more, so it's higher. And all you're going to do is you're going to just set this in here like this. It's really easy to go. This distance works pretty good. It's not super tight, but it's fairly tight. If you're doing small batches, 4 cups of popcorn and your original, you should be able to fit it in this box. Now let me grab the camera here and give you a little better close-up to see how I do this and also what it looks like. Alright, it's stuck on a tripod here, so I might bang it around more. Let me flip that around. Okay, now you see the zip ties here? You'll see the screen right here. I weld this little edge on here, and that allows you to either bolt it on. You can use little tiny wing nuts and bolt it on, or you can just use zip ties. Now the bolts have an advantage, is obviously they're reusable. They have zip ties that actually are also reusable, but you might want to just get some small wing nuts and just put, just one. You don't have to put two on either side. I use make the two holes so that you can zip tie it around. You don't need to use two bolts on each hole. Okay, so you just need it along there. So what I've done is I slid this thing in here and I've pushed it down as far as it's comfortably going to go down, and then I put, while it's got a somewhat level surface, I just took a marking pen and I marked it around here. Now you don't need to do that. I always do it because inevitably while you're doing this, it's going to move. It's going to shift on you. So it's a little frustrating while you're drilling these holes to have the table move, and if it moves then you know where the line was. You don't have to keep readjusting it all the time. But this one particular is 1/2-inch holes. You can also have 3/8, and it is limited to what I have on stock. I'm not going to cut up a big sheet just for this. I use actually extra sheets. That keeps your cost down. I'm not really sure what to charge for this, because this one here was the first one I made. Actually I made like 4 or 5 of them until I got to this level, when I finally found a box that I liked and that would work well with the screen. I had a pattern and everything. So the second and third ones I make of this, fourth ones after that, it usually takes 4 or something before I get it dialed in. I'm hoping I can sell this thing for $100. I'm going to charge $150 for now because I do have a lot of hours in this. It's not so much the material cost, which is part of it, but it's mostly the labor cost that I'm dealing with. So here's another look. See, now you'll notice right here, I actually measured this here before I did the video. I got 7.5 inches here. That actually is pretty deep. You should be able to do a fair amount of sifting with that table or this box and get a lot of seeds in there. Now when it gets full, let's say it gets full towards the end of the day, you're just going to clip these out or unbolt the wing nuts and just take the screen out, and you're going to dump it. I always dump it in an open field, or even in my particular shop, I just dump it in the driveway because the seagulls love it. And I guarantee you, it will only stay there for probably an hour. And all of a sudden you'll have 50 seagulls dancing and scrambling for your kettle corn piece. It's kind of fun and amusing to watch, actually. But be careful, because they do dive bomb your cars, and you may end up having seagull poop everywhere. Other than that, but if you're on a farm, if you're at your neighbor's house, you got a nasty neighbor you don't like, just put it in their yard and dive bomb, have the seagulls dive bomb their... Don't do that. I was just joking. Don't actually do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back, and I'm going to cut this out and show you what it looks like when it's not in the box. Okay? See, line that up for you real good. Now, where's my fancy dancy little cutter? Here it is. So I'm going to cut these out because I got to send it anyway. Our kettle corn cousin Nikki is getting this, and she's really in bad sorts of it. What this does is it's really good for those of you who do not have trucks yet, or a way to tow a trailer. Minivans and small SUVs can tow a trailer. You can get a trailer for pretty cheap, like at Harbor Freight. I don't know, I think they're $400 or something. You put them together, put some wood sides on it, and it will work. You get a fancier trailer. I've had guys go from that level to 12-foot, 24-foot tables. Where's my pull rod? Here's my pull rod. Now, if you guys don't have a pull rod, fancy pull rod like me, just use, well, this has got a handle on it, so it's kind of fancy, but just use a regular Allen wrench to get in here and pull this out. I'm using my pull rod here. I'm just going to pull this out. See, I stuck it in there pretty good. So this is what you're actually going to buy from me, right here, okay? You have, these holes will come pre-drilled, so all you got to do is slide this in. Mark, see, it's a little difficult even for me to do it right here, but there you go. So now I had the lines already pre-cut, or I measured the lines, so I know where they go. And what you're going to do is, on the clear boxes, you can see through them. So I get the clear box, at least for the bottom, and you will actually see the holes coming through, kind of like you can see my finger there, you can see my hand. You will actually see the holes, and you can drill right into that hole, either from this direction, inside or outside. I think I went from the inside on this one. But you're going to use, I think it's a 5/16 drill bit. That's what I use. And then you can fish your zip ties through the two holes. Again, if you don't use zip ties, just use a regular butterfly bolt, nut and bolt situation. That works just fine. Basically, all you're wanting to do is to make sure that this thing doesn't slip. Let me see if I can get it to slip. Well, it's pretty tight. I thought it would slip, but it's not. It's moving pretty good. But definitely want to get that thing tight so that while you're using it, you got pop growing in there and you're knocking things around and it's not going to come loose on you. So after I do that, now there's one way you could do this, is actually, if you have a Phillips screwdriver or something pointy, get a lighter. Let me grab a lighter here. Where's a lighter? Do I have a lighter here I can grab quickly? And probably bottom drawer, I think. Oh, I got it. I don't know where it is. It's here somewhere. Anyway, get one of those long lighters. Heat it up until it's kind of red hot. And if you don't have a drill, do it with a drill if you don't. And just literally take that hot end from the drill side, from the inside, and just poke it through and melt that plastic. Okay? It'll actually make a nice clean end on it. And you're going to do that several times. And you'll be able to poke these holes through without a drill. But you do have to get it hot enough that it'll melt the plastic, obviously. Which, if it gets close to red, is going to melt the plastic. So, let me pull this out here again, and I'll just finish up. So, when this is in, you can put this in, and you get that extra distance. So you can see why you have this. These boxes, I took the labels off. I'll put them on my website, and maybe later I'll do another video. But I'll give you the number for these boxes. They're made at Walmart. Okay, you can just go to Walmart. The clear ones are about $12, $11.98 or whatever it is. The gray ones are $8. So this one I would definitely make the clear one. This one here, you don't necessarily need to make it have it clear. You can save yourself $4 and get the gray one. But these are 30-gallon boxes. I have bigger boxes, or you can get bigger boxes. Initially I started that way, but then I tried to put them in like my wife's SUV, and it was just too big. It was, you know, if you start filling it up with stuff, it's too hard to move around. And it is still 30 gallons. It was narrower, and I found this just to be the best box. So I will put it on my website at kettlecornsupplies.com, and I may just do a little short video showing the box and the label and stuff. Should have had that here when I did it, but nonetheless, it's a Sterilite box you can get stock at Walmart. They're everywhere, and they're cheap. So anyway, that's the screen. This is what's going to get sent to you, and you're going to stick it in there, and it actually works pretty good. I just tried it around with some regular popcorn and some seeds, and it did pretty good. So nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed this. Look for the prices and quantities available on my website, or you can give me a call at 360-477-0257. And also you can get a hold of me on Facebook. I do kind of leave Facebook up here just because I know people are sending me messages, and when I hear that Facebook ping, I run to my computer and try to answer it if I'm not busy welding or making lots of noise. Okay? So we'll see you later, Kettle Corn Cousins, and remember, be mighty. Alright. Now let me see if I can figure out how to turn this off. Right there, I think that's it.